What's up, F3 Nation? It's Tilt, your cue for today. Today's beatdown is the Powdered Sugar Bear beatdown. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with the copyrighted movie Cocaine Bear, and this particular bear only enjoys powdered sugar and not narcotics. So stay away from drugs, and hope you enjoy this beatdown. So for this one, we've got the Powdered Sugar Bear, who's very excited to consume a whole lot of powdered sugar and eat some campers. We even have what's left of some campers here, thanks to the local Halloween store. So this will be a fun one. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, let's get into the beatdown. So this was a pretty brutal one. This is one where if the packs have been giving you a hard time for not going hard enough with your beatdowns, go ahead and throw this one at them. Our guys were pretty smoked by the end of it. So we had a lot of fun with this one. You're going to see there's an initial portion where you're going across the parking lot 4 times, and then followed by the portion where the guys actually get to eat some campers. So this is one where if you got a tent in your garage, you want to set it up, kind of fun to do that. You know, I went to the Halloween store too. Got some of that crime scene tape, got that arm and leg that I had there in the intro. Also had some ping pong balls that have eyeballs on them. So what we did is after you hit all 4 stations, you get to run over, pick up one of those eyeballs, chuck it into a bucket, especially like a big metal pot that'll have a ringing sound, which is kind of fun. And so you see how many guys can go and fill up that bucket every time they hit 4 stations. You keep cycling until you hit the end. That's when you go into Mary. So next here, we're going to go into a map of those 4 stations and the parking lot and how to set this up, as well as just a couple of the props that we used and how we actually dive into this. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, so we're going to start off with our diagram for today's beatdown. So first, have everyone gather, get all those coupons in a line right at that very bottom point by that lower street light in the parking lot here. So we're going to start with that warm-up. We're going to do side straddle hops, so 15 of those, 4 count and cadence. Then tappy taps, 15 of those, 4 count and cadence. Then we're going to do our bear hug jacks, so doing a sideways hop, basically like a jumping jack, except you're giving yourself a big bear hug back and forth with your arms across the parking lot. So go all the way down and all the way back, and that is going to be our warm-up. All right, so the next phase here is going to be getting that powdered sugar package. So we're going to start off with our coupons on the bottom there, and we're going to get all the packs gathered at that very top street light, so the opposite side of the parking lot from your line of coupons. So what you're going to do is you're going to be crossing this parking lot 4 times. So starting off with what we see in the Exicon as the Cocaine Bear Crawl, which means you're going to be doing a bear crawl across the parking lot. Every time you hit a white line for a parking space, you drop down, do a merkin, have your nose hit the ground, get back up into that bear crawl, continue on and repeat until you've done every single parking space all the way across the lot. Then we're going to head back doing a rifle carry. So go ahead and carry that coupon overhead rifle carry back to the other side. Now we're going to do murder bunnies across the parking lot, and then we're going to do rifle carry back. So you'll have crossed that parking lot 4 times. You're going to end with your coupon right by the campsite, and the campsite is what we're going to get into next. So you can see on the diagram of the campsite here, we've got 4 different stations marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each one of them has got a cone. The most important one to make sure is in that corner is number 4. That is going to be our Frisbears station. So we'll get into that momentarily, but basically for this station, you will be throwing some Frisbees out into the parking lot. So I'd recommend putting that on one of those outer cones like number 4, just so no one catches a Frisbee to the face. So here's our view from the starting line. You can see the coupon sitting next to the speaker, and we're looking down across the parking lot towards that campsite. So this is the opposite end of where we're going to start. This is where we go and pick up those coupons. Now we jump to the other side of the lot. We've got our campsite. So this is where you're going to have all your packs lined up to start. So you're going to go all the way down to that pole you can see there, and that's where you're retrieving that coupon before you bring it back. So this is where you start doing those cocaine bear crawls all the way down to get those coupons before bringing them back to the campsite that you see right there in front of you. All right, so as we go to the stations of the campsite here, first we're going to walk up. You're going to see we had some fun at Spirit Halloween. We got a couple props here. So those are the remnants of a hiker eaten by Cocaine Bear and those ping pong balls that have the eyeballs on them. So the first station that we got here, this is where you eat a park ranger. So you do that by doing 20 burpees and 20 overhead press because you got to be strong like that park ranger to eat this very first camper. Now our next one here. This one is our hiker, so this is going to work on those quads and glutes. So you're going to do 20 goblet squats with your coupon, followed by 20 Bonnie Blairs. 2 is 1, so counting 1 and 2 and until you hit 20. Our next one here is our picnicker, carrying that picnic basket. So for this one, you got to shake out that picnic basket. You're going to do 20 curls and you're going to do 20 Gravediggers. That's where you're taking that coupon and putting it over your shoulder, so 10 on each shoulder. And then finally here, we got our ultimate Frisbee bro. In order to eat this camper, you got to do 5 Frisbears. So you chuck that Frisbee, go sprinting after it. When it hits the ground, do a bear crawl until you recover that Frisbee and keep on going. So if you're looking for good music for this one, we just went with one of the EDM worship playlists. That's one that I'm a big fan of. Actually, on that note, I actually just dropped a mixtape. I've been having some fun lately doing some worship EDM and house music. So I'll go ahead and post the link there. Go ahead and use that for a beatdown. Let me know if the guys like it. If people enjoy it, I'll go ahead and make some more songs, but having some fun with that lately. So let's get into the COT here. One thing that I was trying to figure out was how I was going to do a bear-themed COT. There aren't too many scripture verses about bears. You could go with the prophet Elisha having those bears go and eat a bunch of people, which I thought about, but I couldn't quite come up with like a deep spiritual message from that instance of bears in the Bible. So decided to go with David and Goliath, because there actually is a bear reference there. So this is from 1 Samuel 17, verses 32 to 37. David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul replied, "You're not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You're only a young man, and he's been a warrior since his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." So this is an interesting one, and I really like this one. So the reason for this one is that it shows us that God trains us up for things well before we actually know what he's training us up for, right? So in this instance, God gave David that opportunity to build himself up, to train, to have those smaller battles, and to keep improving himself years and years in advance before he ever got the chance to fight Goliath, and before he even knew who Goliath was. So that's the question that I posed for the group. I asked that to all the packs. Was there a time in your life when you realized in retrospect that God was actually training you for a challenge the whole time, and you didn't even realize it until you hit that challenge? I know that's happened to me many times in life. We had a really good discussion. We hung out there sitting on our coupons for 5 or 10 minutes, just talking through all the different instances in life, right? Everything from, sick family members and dealing with that personally, up through physical challenges and even, what does it look like to be a good father and to be physically present in a way for, for our kids or our future kids, right? To make sure that we're physically able to play with them, to have a good time with them, to go run around, throw a ball outside. And the fact that when we do this F3 training in the morning, it's actually enabling us to be better fathers because we're training for the ability to play with our kids. So that was our COT for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys had a good time doing this. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know how it goes. This is a pretty aggressive beatdown, but that's why we like it. So go ahead and, let me know how it goes. And let me know if you like that mixtape also that I mentioned earlier. I'll go ahead and put a link in there as well for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe.